Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Stephanie Stevens Show. Today, I have on my show two fantastic individuals, a couple, a married couple from the LGBT two-spirit pronoun community. They're going to share their story today. Mr. Jonathan Hill and his wife, Miss Sierra Hill from Tampa, Florida. Today, we're going to be talking about HIV and the family. As we all know, HIV has come a long way, and we have a long way to go. But the show is not just focused on HIV, it's focused on the family and where do we go from here and where we are now with everything. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for being on the show. Welcome to the show, Sierra Hill and Mr. Jonathan Hill.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Now, the reason I wanted you on the show today is because I thought that you had an amazing story. I like the fact that you had a love story and the fact that you've been together 5 years and the fact that you, Jonathan, were tested HIV positive and somewhere along the line, you guys found love, found an understanding of the condition that you were actually going through and the fact that Sierra stuck by you. So
Yeah.
I think that that can really educate others because we don't talk about this much now with the advancement of HIV medications and therapies. So I just want to say welcome to the show today. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
Merry
Same to
Christmas, happy
you.
holidays.
Yes, happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Okay, now I want to start with you, Jonathan.
Okay.
How did you meet Sierra? How did you meet her?
Well, that was kind of funny. We met each other here in Florida on a website called Quest Chat. That's how we met. We started
Okay.
talking over Quest Chat. We exchanged phone numbers. I was living in a part of Tampa known as West Tampa. She lived on this side over here, close to Ybor City. I jumped on my 10-speed bicycle, rode all the way from my side of town to her side to meet her, and
Yes, he did.
we went on 2 or 3 dates at our particular spot that is now closed, Hamburger Mary's in Ybor City. And when I figured she would be the one, that's when I disclosed to her about my status.
Okay. Now, I know a little bit about Ybor City. I used to be around in the days when they had Renee's. I don't know if you guys
Yep.
remember Renee's and El Goya, all
Yep.
those things. I used to perform there many, many years ago. As you know, I've been in this business 32 years this year.
Ooh,
So
wow.
I know a lot of the girls from Lakeisha Lucky to
Yeah.
Dana Douglas, all of those
Mm.
girls I've worked with at one point or a time in my career. Now, I want to talk. Now, I know that you guys work. You work. What's your occupations?
Well, for when the time that I was working before I uh, got HIV, I served. Before I served in the military for 3 years, I worked several jobs. I've been working in McDonald's, maintenance, labor pools, and
Mhm.
currently right now I have my lawn service that I'm working with a friend of mine that has a lawn service business, and I work with him every now and then. But other than that, I make it every day through my Social Security and VA. You know,
Okay. Now, Sierra, what was your first impressions when you met John? What were your first impressions when you met him off of Quest?
Well, my first impressions was actually exactly what he said. His description, because normally they'll tell you anything just to get your attention. But
Uh-huh.
he was exactly what he said he was. And I was really shocked that he drove all the way on a bicycle all the way across town to come see me. I've never had a man show up on a bicycle, so that was kind of interesting. So I was like, for a man to ride all the way across town to come see somebody, that really meant a lot.
Yeah. Well, now, John, can I just ask, how long have you been positive?
I've been positive since 1998, and here it is, 2020, going into 2021, and I am sitting here talking to you right now. I am 51 years of age, looking forward to 52 next year.
Well, that's good. It's the fact that you are alive and healthy and that you guys are thriving together. This is a great thing. I mean, I want people to understand that the fact that you are together and you're working all of this out, and you seem to be on the right track with, love and family. Now, you, Sierra, how did you feel when John, of course, the hookup thing and all of that, how did you feel when he told you that he was HIV positive?
How did I feel when you told me he was HIV positive?
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be honest, at first I wasn't a closed-minded person, but my ex drag mother had HIV, so she kind of educated me a little bit back at the time that I first met her. I was really the type of person where I was scared of people at the time. I thought that you could catch it by being coughed on, sneezed on, one of those kind of people that was just naive, that wasn't educated. And I never really thought that I would ever meet an HIV person and fall in love with an HIV person. So actually, the first night that he said, "I have something to tell you" at Hamburger Mary's on our first date, I was like, "Uh-oh, here we go. He's a baby daddy, mama drama, that kind of thing." But but then when he told me his status and said, "I am HIV positive," I just kind of sat there for a minute. And I didn't really say anything. I just kind of looked at him. He's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Now," before he told me, he said, "I'm going to tell you something. You can either leave or you can stay. I'm leaving. It's totally up to you." So when he told me, when I was looking at him, I just kind of got quiet because I wasn't expecting that to come out of his mouth. And I just kind of looked at him and said, "Well, okay, that you guys deserve love too. Okay." And I basically just acted like it was no big deal.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you something more on a personal level. You don't have to answer this, but from the way you're talking, the apprehension of your story is very interesting, because most people would like to know, when you were going to have your first night together, whether you were just hooking up or you were thinking about a relationship, were you apprehensive about having sex with a person you knew was HIV positive? And mainly from what you had seen from your friend who was positive and what she was going through, were you apprehensive about that?
Actually, he told me after we met for the first time. The very next day we went on our dates. I really hadn't thought about, the sex part until after he had told me. And then even really after he told me, I was kind of like, I wasn't really scared like I thought I would be, because I had already heard that it's not a death sentence anymore. You can live with it now. So I was starting to learn in the process at the time he had already told me. I didn't know very much at the time, but I was in the process of starting to learn. So I wasn't as apprehensive as you said that I thought I would be. But like when we first had sex, I was kind of like, "Oh, well, should we do this? Should we not do this? Okay. Remember, we got to do this. We got to do that." So I mean, it really didn't scare me that much, because I was starting to learn. So I already knew that you couldn't catch it by kissing them or hugging them, or I was learning the ways of how you could contact it, and I wasn't as scared back then.
Okay. Now, sometimes when you think about these situations, you being a trans woman and your husband, because women are very suspect of men in general. I commend you, Jonathan, for actually telling her. You were very brave for doing that, and it was great that you did it right from the get-go. So she could make up her own mind whether or not she wanted to be with you as an individual with what you were going through, because that is a lot. When you think about it, it's almost like saying baby mama drama. If you're you're going out and with somebody that is married or wasn't married or in a relationship and they have a child and you end up falling in love with them, here comes the drama. And HIV is just as concerning as that. Now, I like the fact that you supported him. I like the fact that you were aware, let's take precautions. Yeah, I kind of like you. I'm kind of nervous, and we're going to walk through this. That's amazing. Now, we don't hear a lot of that from younger people today. It's great that I'm sitting here talking to two individuals that are mature enough so we can help educate the young children that they need to use condoms and protections, and they need to talk to each other about what they're going through, whether it's mental illness or whether it's HIV or whatever the situation is. So this way, we all know how to handle the situation we're getting into. I like the fact that, Jonathan, you were brave enough to do that. And I take my wig off to you for that. I take my wig off to you for that.
Okay.
Now, so after 5 years of being together, are you guys happy?
I would say that, in our relationship, yes, we are happy. Now if I was to sit here and tell you that all these 5 years was rainbows and sunshine, I would be telling you a lie.
Right.
Because all relationships, friendships, marriage, dating, everybody gonna go through something. And if that relationship, if you ask them if they're going through something and they tell you that they're not, the advice we were given when we first got married, and it was given to us by someone older than us, longer relationship, that if somebody tells y'all their relationship is perfect, you'll run away from them because they're telling you a fib, they're telling you a lie. And that's how I felt about sharing my status with Sierra, because we talked about that in one of my groups today about disclosure. And to me, I felt as though if I go out and have sex with anyone without revealing, even though it's a one night stand or whatever, I'm putting that person's life in jeopardy. And I have a conscience, so I couldn't have that on my conscience. Like if I weren't married and whoever I slept with, they wound up getting HIV, I have to wonder, like, am I the person that gave it to him, or did they have it before they got with me and just didn't tell me? So see, instead of me having that go through my mind, I feel like I should disclose. And Sierra and I, we're both advocates. We talk to the young people. I talk to them about disclosure, and I also talk to my transgendered friends about disclosure. I mean, it's a scary thing, but to me, I've always felt that if you want to sleep with somebody, trans, straight, gay, whoever, let them know who you are, what's going on. Because as I talk to you, I'm tired of seeing all of our trans women of color and Latino or trans women of any background being murdered because, one, they either won't reveal, or two, the person that they're with finds out on their own and gets angry. And so that's why I always feel to disclose is sometimes the best, your best form of getting it through.
And as far as you ask us if we're happy, on my end of the spectrum, it's kind of hard both ways, because for one thing, we're a racial couple, interracial couple, and one is positive and one is negative. So I get feedback from both sides of the fence, like, well, how could you love somebody with HIV? Have you ever thought about being with somebody with HIV? Did you think you would ever love someone? And really, to be honest with you, like I said earlier, I never thought I would be. It just happened. And I tell people it can work. It works if you make the system work. If you do what you're supposed to do, and you do your safety issues, and have no problems living as a positive and a negative couple.
Now, I think when you love somebody, you can work everything out, and mainly if it's real love. And like Jonathan said, all relationships go through ups and downs, and that's just part of life. And we as older people, we understand that. And mainly as we get more older, we become more tolerant and more understanding of other situations because we've been through them or lived through them, or we see our friends going through these things. And this is good. This is a good thing. Now, do either of you have children?
No. Thank goodness I did not. Thank goodness I did not have any children. Now, I was married when I was in the military, but me and the young lady, we basically married for the military money. When you're both in the military, that's more money coming in. But we realized we were better just being friends and colleagues because, I was gay, she was lesbian. So we were better off just being colleagues. And so I went my way, she went hers. I still, I see she pops up on my Facebook page. I wish her happy birthdays, Merry Christmases, happy Thanksgiving. I mean, she's living her life, I'm living mine, but I still hold no hatred towards her. I wish her the best, and she always wishes me the best. But that was a part of my life that, as my uncle said, I just got married because I felt that nobody would have wanted me anyway. So I just jumped right into it head first without thinking. And, thinking with the wrong head is what he said.
Okay. Some sex can make us blind.
Yeah.
And and sometimes when we think outside the box, maybe things seem a little bit better on the other side until we get in that box. Now,
Yeah.
Sierra, how did it feel? How does it feel? How did you feel when you got married? Like, how did you feel as a trans woman walking down the aisle with the man that you love? How did you feel as a trans woman? Or did you just think it was normal? And how did the family react when the two of you said, we're getting married and we're inviting everybody?
Well, to start out, I felt like a queen. I was glamorous and gorgeous as course.
Okay.
On my wedding day. My family is kind of a different story because my mom and dad don't really know we're married yet. They know we live together, but they do not know we're officially legally married yet. So they don't really know that they have a black son-in-law. And my dad, one of the reasons why I didn't really say nothing is because when I was growing up, my dad was very prejudiced. And one of the things he told me when I came out as being a young gay trans person was, I don't really like the fact who you are, but I will say this, I don't ever want you to date a black man. And that stuck in my head for the longest time. So, of course, on my wedding day, after we got married, I looked at him as we were dancing. I said, you know what? My dad's going to kill me. I said, because you are a black man. But it was really fun to walk down the aisle and be who I was and to know that I could dress the way I felt comfortable. Me being the woman that I was, to be able to marry the man legally in the eyes of God for us to show our love to people. Because we actually had two ceremonies, because we actually had a union before it became legal. So we had two marriages, actually. But the other one was actually legal, the second one.
So a civil union. So is marriage actually legal in the state that you're in, Florida?
Yes, it's been legal for
It's been legal now for 7 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Because I'm from Orlando, and I know those Republicans down there are something else.
They get married in Orlando too.
It passed, even though the outgoing president, he tried to repeal it. It didn't work. So we're still legally able to get married. And as far as my family goes, my main supporter that I would have loved to be there was my mother, which passed in 19. She was born in 49, I believe she passed. She's been gone now since 2011. And then my sibling sister that was born in 71, she was totally against it. She's totally against the lifestyle. She came at me with well, I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm reading the Bible, and she tried the Bible bush. So I just cut her off. I went, hey, our church has the same Bible. I would like for you to be there, but if not, I understand. But when we married the first time, the civil union, she was still alive, wasn't she? She was still alive for the civil union, but when we did the second one, she had passed. But I have her 4 children that are still with us, and I see her through them. Her oldest daughter, she's LGBTQ. Okay. And she has 2 children of her own. And people ask me, how is it that your gay niece has 2 children? I was like, well, she is a female. I said she slept with a male. And when a male and a female get together, things happen, and there's a child. I'm like, just because she's lesbian, I said, I guess she felt she wanted to have 2 children, and she had them, but she's still, living her life, and she's happy. and
Well,
I'm happy for her.
well, you know, that's the good thing, Jonathan. Once people make up their minds and become comfortable in their own skin, it's great that people are happy. And this is what I see with the two of you. Like, even though you said you guys have ups and downs, that's in every relationship, and we understand that. Now, what I want to know and I think it would be interesting to know, does your neighbors know that the two of you are married in a union? And how does the neighborhood, how do you guys fit
Okay,
into the
well,
neighborhood?
we live right now. We've been living in this rooming house where we currently are. We've been here now 8 years, and we've had several different next door neighbors next to our room. We usually get along well when it's just a one person, either be male or female. When there's single people, they get along with us, they have no problem. But it seems every time we've had a couple move next door to us, it's no more issue with the lady, it's more of an issue with the male people. Because I don't know if they have, how they usually say sometimes about heterosexual men. They have the thought in the back of their minds that they think every gay person wants them, which is not true, or they have this feeling that they want to be with a male but don't know how to approach them. And so my wife and I, we've had stares, like we'll go to our car sometimes and the neighbor downstairs, he'll give us these looks as though like, they better not talk to me or say good morning or nothing, as if he thinks that I want him or my wife wants him. Neither one of us give a care about none.
Wait. I know. Ladies and gentlemen, on the show today, I have Mr. Jonathan Hill and his wife, Miss Sierra Hill.
Sorry, just had
Tampa,
a scam
Florida.
call come through. I had to turn it off. But
it's all good.
We see him and we ignore him,
Well, that's good, Jonathan. It's good that sometimes it's not worth taking on these people that have their own mindset about whatever. It's better just to mind your own business and keep looking forward. That's what my agent tells me now, and my mother used to tell me that before she passed. I miss you, Mom. But I want to just say that I want to thank you guys so much. Where do you guys see yourselves in the next 10 years? I know you say that you're living in a rooming house now, and I don't want to get too personal, but for me, I'm looking at two mature individuals that probably should. I understand your situation, Jonathan, with what you're going through, but you did say you were in the military, and I know that the U.S. is now trying to change and take care of the veterans.
Yeah.
Were you dishonorably discharged, or were you honorably discharged?
I was honorably discharged, and it was for mental health issues. And as far as finding housing, we are desperately looking. We have realtors helping us now. I have an organization known as Metro that let me know something about a hopper list coming up for the next year that they are possibly letting me know a little more on that. So we're leaving it in God's hands. And, for the next 10 years, the next 10 years, we're looking to pray that we'll be in our own home.
That's amazing.
Yeah, way before.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to say to you, to Jonathan Hill and Sierra Hill, thank you for doing the show today. I didn't want to go into too much in depth. I want you guys to have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And you guys did great today. And I want to say thank you. And I think we've learned a lot from just listening to your story. And it's good for our community. And mainly a lot of the people that I live around and that are a part of our community, they need to hear your story, because you've inspired. You're very inspiring, you're very understanding, and you're very direct. And that's what I like. And this is
thank you for having us as well. And Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you for
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, all those.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
So I just in closing, I'm going to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, on the show today, I had Mr. Jonathan Hill and Miss Sierra Hill. They're a married couple in Tampa, Florida, and they're now doing great things to help educate others. They're advocates in their hometown of Tampa, and they're reaching out to other individuals to help teach them about what living with HIV and disclosure means, and the fact that they're an interracial couple and they're in love. They want to show, the world that couples do go through ups and downs regardless of whether they're in a same-sex relationship, a civil union, or just a heterosexual relationship, or just the fact that two people love each other and they're in a partnership. So thank you guys so much for being on the show today. And I want to say I take my wig off to you again, and you have a wonderful Christmas, and we will chat again.
Thank you.
Yes,
You too.
ma'am.
Merry Christmas. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.